Good day everyone. This is WillPedido again, coming to you with another video. Ngayon pag-uusapan natin paborito kong local band here in the Philippines, Razorback. This is a band that was formed early 90s, of course, with the original members David Aguirre sa gitara and Miguel Ortigas sa drums. Of course, how can we forget that guy? So yun, I want to talk to you about my top 10 songs, paborito kong kanta, 10 paborito kong kanta ng Razorback. Very, very good band, of course. A lot of bias on my end. Again, it's my favorite. So, hard rock ang music nila. Sometimes, the latter part of their career, they became a lot more experimental. They went a little bit proggy kasi influence nila yung Pink Floyd. Other than Black Sabbath, of course, that's a great influence on the band as well. And AC/DC, you always hear them playing covers of these bands, covering their songs. So anyway, top 10 songs ko ng Razorback. Here we go. Number 10, 29. This is a song from this album, the last studio album released by the band Razorback in 2012. Some glare in there. 3 Minutes of Glory is the title of the album. Karahanip tong kantang to, 29. Driven by the powerful vocals of Kevin Roy. Of course, the riffs are there as usual from Tirso. Of course, the band is just solid as always, pero yung pasok niya sa simula, and then the high points of the chorus, very strong, and lyrics also, ganun, pag Tagalog yung lyrics nila, and then it's really different, iba yung appeal ng Razorback when it's Tagalog song. So again, 29, check it out. I'm sure you're going to be able to find a way to listen to that song, even if you don't have this CD, but or a tape. This is the only CD that I have of them. Oh, sorry, I have 2 CDs of them, but I have all the studio albums in tape. Number 9, Ikot ng Mundo, from this album. This is their sophomore effort. Ikot ng Mundo, of course, is another single that they had during those times. This was released in 95. Ikot ng Mundo is one of those singles that they enjoyed a lot of airplay in radio stations like NU107, of course, and the LA 105 at that time. A lot of other because it appeals to the masses. Ikot ng Mundo, hindi siya very accessible. Hindi siya something that when you play, your parents would be mad at you and say, pang adik yan, o pang, that's too loud or too noisy. So very radio friendly siya. So Ikot ng Mundo. Number 9. Next ko, number 8 is the title is called Mana. Mana is from this album. It's a self-titled album released by Razorback in 2002. To me, Mana is it starts very slow, again very melodic. Ang galing ng boses ni Kevin dito, the way that he carries the song, and then the drums kick in, bass kicks in, and the riff again, rhythm guitar, galing, papasok ng 2 minutes into the song, and I could hear it in my ears right now. So I hope you get to listen to that. And whenever I get to see the band 2-3 years ago sa 70s Bistro, and then you would get to chat with Kevin, ask him, he could play this, mana, it's like something that has been very much requested to them, I guess. That's why ganyan yung anticipation niya na re-request mo na naman mana. Kaya ito pa isa, palaging nire-request din. Voodoo Hoodoo, number 7. Voodoo Hoodoo is, of course, part of this album, Star, released in 1996. Kung hindi ako nagkakamali. Sorry, 1998, I must say. Yun yung ano, yun yung time na nirelease nila yung Star. Voodoo Voodoo, even though it's in side B, it's a very strong song, of course. Part of that soundtrack that they made together with other bands like Korn, Our Lady Peace, to that Wills Protasio project that back in the day. Voodoo Voodoo, grabe. Ganda rin ng video nito, and of course the sound that they were able to produce here, and it being an English in English, the lyrics, that is pasok sa panlasa to ng even western, I suppose. Kaya mahusay talaga ang Voodoo Voodoo. Just blows you away. Number 6, break tayo dito sa album na to. Of course, Payaso. Ang galing. It's a very very fun tune. It makes me smile, and kasi the memories of you hearing that song sa gigs nila, sa mga concert, talagang yung masses, you would really react, you would jump around. If you don't jump around, then that's something's wrong with you, man. If you hear the riff of Payaso. Syempre may kapatid to, no? Yung kapatid niya, this is my number 5, Munting Paraiso. It's also on the same album. Grabe, magkasunod to. It's like they're meant to really shake hands with each other. But Mayaso in Munting Paraiso, woo, diba? Can't help yourself, if you love the song. It's tattooed in your mind, I guess. So yun yung number 5, Munting Paraiso. Number 4, punta tayo dun sa unang album, man. Tabi ng Bulkan. Diba? If you're familiar to the song, paano hindi mo magiging paborito? Ang grabe lyrics na, diba? Nayanig ang utak ko. Just you wanna sing along with it all the time when they play it. Grabe, very very easygoing, and people who are going out, makaka-relate ka kasi it's just talking about getting wasted, I guess. Some of us went through that. Of course, as long as you could handle it and you can control yourself, nothing's really wrong about it. And basta wala kang sasaktan, of course, including yourself. I must say. Number 3, paborito kong kanta ng Razorback, comes still from this album, Puerto Jam. Puerto Jam is very very melodic tune, very quite experimental a little bit. Again, nandito na yung influence ng Pink Floyd, I suppose. This is on side A, Puerto Jam, a little close to about 7 minutes. Yung song na to. Pakinggan nyo, guys. I really encourage that you pick up this album. I'm not sure how many copies were sold. Of course, yung mga unang dalawang albums, because of the high in terms of popularity of bands at that time. But you would hate that this album is not listened to a whole lot. Kahit yung mga closest friends ko, they're not really that familiar with this, but I really recommend this album. And one of the high points of this album is Puerto Jam. Alright, number 2. So, balik tayo dito. Diba? Giyang. Should I say anything else? Yung Giyang is like it's a staple, of course, whenever they go on stage. And the latter part of the past years, the past 2-3 years, whenever you see them on stage, sabihin ni Kevin, hindi na namin tututugin yung Giyang. Sometimes they don't, sometimes they still do. I guess, you know, they just want us to appreciate the other songs that they have in their catalog. Kaya, you know, they're encouraging us to explore their music a little bit more. Pero, grabe, Giyang is just, man, you know, makita nyo na yung acoustic version nito, with Mr. Villegas on guitar, and of course Kevin singing. Yeah, Giyang is at number 2. My number 1, probably number 1 din to sa iba. Yung iba probably number 1 nila yung Giyang, pero sa akin, number 1 ko, of course, Wakasan. Wakasan is probably the most popular on this album. Grabe, no? Very haunting yung simula niya. Yung parang, what is that? You know, then yung laro sa gitara sa umpisa. It's a very, what do you call that? Parang come on. You know, it's a very attractive tune na melody na pinamod. Parang galing, Wakasan. And of course, you know, when all the instruments come in, and syempre, you know, again, the vocals by Kevin, just fantastic. So yun, number 1 ko, Wakasan. Again, it's on side A of this album, the Razorback eponymous album in 2002. Ako sinabi ko ata kanina to, but this one is released really in 97. This one is released in 95. So I may have said that incorrectly earlier. Punta tayo sa, you know, honorable mentions. I know people were probably saying, you know, nakaturo sa'yo, bakit hindi yung pinili sa'yo. So dami kasi ng magandang kanta eh. But you know, nakaturo sa'yo is probably number 11, number 12 probably ko yung May Banyo song. And then on this album there are lots of great tunes here too. Yung Amused, with a guest vocalist, female guest vocalist, Atin Lang. Of course, you know, yung epic na Beggar's Moon, Tie-Dye Sky dito sa album na to. Man, galing yung ano nito. You know, even Seer Visions, ang galing din ng Seer Vision. But those are the honorable mentions. And then on the top 10 songs, I hope that you know, you could relate to that. Mention din kayo ng comments niyo, of course, down below on what do you think are you know, your favorite Razorback songs. So yun, share tayo mga tol. Salamat. Okay, rock on.